Hello, welcome back to Winglish by Pooja Singh, and today we are going to solve December 2019 part 2. In part 1 we have already solved till question number 60 now, and as we know we are solving as the one who are watching it. Good evening. The one who are watching it for the very first time, we are solving PYQs from 2012 to 2025, and this is our 2019 part 2. So let's get started and start our question. And every time you solve a question, it will get one step closer to your clearing of UGC NET JRF examination. This is very important if you're solving, because by solving PYQ we are going to get to know the themes, the repeated patterns, and a lot more. So stay tuned till the last. Grab your notebooks, grab your pen, and do write what is important. So let's get started. So question number 61: which British administrator passed a resolution promotion of European literature and sciences among the natives of India? So what was the Britisher's name? So it was Lord Hastings, Lord Cornwallis, Lord Bentinck, or Lord Hardinge. So it was none other than the Lord Bentinck. Why? And what did he pass the resolution for? He passed the resolution for that he has to clear the European. He wanted to promote the European literature, sciences among the natives, and how this is happening, how it has to work. So these all things are there. Let me just check the connection once. Yeah, so it was none other than the Machiavellis and minute opinion towards the language education, that how the Britishers European language is that considered, and how it has to. And also Lord Bentinck is also important for the accepting the Machiavelli's minute or the opinions of the language, that how it has been important. Okay, now question number 62: which of the following plays were written by Thomas Heywood? Again, can you see these? Spanish tragedy, it has been asked in 2025. Godabuk, it has been asked since 2012 and it still has been asking. Then the play called the 4PP and the play of the weather. So these two work is written by Thomas Heywood, and that gives the option B and C. Why it has been called that Thomas Heywood? Because now he was very famous at that time. Why? Because he was a singer under the Henry VIII king, and it was like and he was much favored, and Thomas Heywood was much favored by the Queen Mary, and that's why he published a lot of interludes, and this is one of the interludes. That's play called the 4PP. And that what are the interludes? The one which are being played into the morality plays and the miracle plays. जैसे मूवीज़ में हम जाते हैं and interval होता है, like that interval is called the interlude. So that's it. Now we move to question number 63. The key figures in the development of British cultural studies are. So now when we ask about the key figures, they are asking that what are the roles of these three. So Richard Hoggart, Raymond Williams, and Stuart Hall. When you see these three names, आँख बंद कर आप इनको टिक कर सकते हो for cultural studies. And what they have contributed to it? They have contributed C and S. What does this CCS? This CCS means Universe Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies, and ये definitions, ये full form आपका आया हुआ है 2024 में भी और 2025 में भी. So it is very important कि आप इन सब चीज़ों पे एक बार देख लो and just know the basics कि रिचर्ड हॉगर्ट का क्या contribution है, रेमंड विलियम्स का क्या contribution है, स्टुअर्ट हॉल का क्या contribution है, how they have been asked, इनका क्या क्या वर्क्स है, रिचर्ड हॉगर्ट का क्या वर्क्स है. सो दीज आर द इम्पॉर्टेंट डेवलपर ऑफ द ब्रिटिश कल्चरल स्टडीज. नाउ इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लिस्ट द टू जर्नल्स relate the field of the post-colonial literature? Now when it comes to post-colonial literature, it becomes very easy when it has been written in literary parallels. and it is nearly written in 1970s. So this is the Kunapi and interventions. Again, these are the 15 types. And what are the 15 types? 15 types are those questions which can come and you have to solve it from the common sense or the calculated guess. This is it. So A and B are the option. Question number 65. Which one of the following works were published after 1947? So it did not ask directly, but it has asked that they gave the year 1947 and they had to ask कि कौन सा ऐसा work है जो independence post independence का work है. So it is Mr. Sampath, a printer of Malgudi, and Seven Summers. This is by R.K. Narayan, and Seven Summers is written by Mulk Rajanand. So these two works are written in after 1947, and The Dark Room was written in 1938. These are written in 1938, and The Big Heart is written, let me check once again. The Big Heart Big Heart is also written before 1947. So this gives Mr. Sampath, that is by R.K. Narayan. Again, can you see the importance of R.K. Narayan? He is coming again and again, and that too in chronological type, means his date wise questions are coming in. So please do remember the date questions, the dates which are very important. Dates are very important for R.K. Narayan 1. Okay. Question number 66. Which two of the following statements are applicable to feminist criticism? Feminist criticism में क्या important है? So recuperate the female writers ignored by the canon, fully endorse the social constructions of gender, valorize the traditional canon uncritically, mostly reject the essentializing of male and female. So सबसे ज़्यादा connecting है, it's recuperate the female writers ignored by the canon. And yeah, it was very true when Virginia Woolf was writing, and there are so many works कि अगर if you are not a female, how can you express that feeling? अगर जब तक आपको चोट नहीं लगता है, सपोज यू फॉलन डाउन और आपका लेग्स में स्क्रैच हो गया है और ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, यू कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द सेम पेन बाय जस्ट सिंपली सीइंग इट कि हाँ ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, 4-5 स्क्रैचेज हैं. You cannot feel that pain until unless you have experienced that. So that what happened with the female writers. Female writers were ignored by the canon. They were writing it and male were writing कि हाँ females ऐसा ऐसा feel करती हैं या फिर females ऐसा ऐसा express करती हैं. No, it is not like that. You cannot expect a male to understand the agony of female. You cannot do that. So yeah, this was feminist criticism. And then the second one is mostly reject the essentializing of male and female. They were not ready to essentialize about what male called and what female called. Simply just by writing does not make you equal. You have to go through what, until unless you are not feeling what ugliness is, you cannot understand what beautiful is. When you don't know what existence is, you cannot understand non-existence. So until unless you are having or experiencing it, that you cannot make that understand. So that gives A and D option as the correct one. Let's move to question number 67. Examples of poetic compounding are found in the work of which two modernist writers? So poetic compounding, what does poetic compounding means? Poetic compounding means when you are writing some poet, these are the two terms which have been seen in the modernist writers, because at that time people were not giving a lot of importance to the words rhyme or the blank or words or the rhythm, or they were writing on their own. They were not valuing the predominant culture and nation. So that was we see in the works of James Joyce, again very important one, and G.M. Hopkins, very important one. So B and C, that gives important, and these four important writers are there. These are the modernist writers and they're very important, very very important. So please kindly do not miss them reading. Their works are important, their work settings are important. So these are important, kindly do not miss it. Okay, now again, those who are solving from 2012 to till 2019, you can understand how lengua and how parole is important. In every year they are asking the direct question either in the statement form, either in the match of the following, or in the, but they are coming, these are the repeated question multiple times. So lengua is a language system, it is a language system, it is a grammar type, it is a context, it is a structure. जब आप कुछ लिख देते हो, that is a lengua. Parole when you are using it, parole when you are using it. आई एम टेलिंग यू PYQ सीरीज़ का, हाँ ये PYQ सीरीज़ है, यहाँ पे मैंने प्लेलिस्ट बनाया है, आप देख सकते हो. दैट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग वन, दैट विल बी वेरी हेल्पफुल. दैट इज़ लैंग्वा. Parole when you are solving it by yourself. So जो set of structures होता है, that is called lengua, and parole when you are talking it. So lengua means ये written form में है, that is lengua, but when you are speaking it, when you are talking about it, it is called parole. So that's lengua and parole. Question number 69. In the following list, two actors belong to the Elizabethan period. So yes, you have to remember these names. Richard Burberg and William Kane was the actors of, they used to perform the works of Shakespeare's and all the great writers of that period. So yes, you have to remember their name. And again, these are the 15 types. 15 types are those types which can come, and you have to solve it by your common sense or common guess, and that's all. Question number 70. Which term among the following will be applicable to a situation in which a character initiates a scheme which depends for its success on the ignorance of the person against whom it is directed? So what does it means? It means that ऐसा कौन सा टर्म है जो कि एक सिचुएशन पे करता है, when a character initiates a scheme, एक स्कीम करता है जिस पे वो पूरा सक्सेस उसके इग्नोरेंस पे डिपेंड होता है कि how it has been indirected. It is intrigue, and you can see in the works of restoration drama of the plays, which the plays we can see. The plays you can write in the, suppose it is Ben Jonson's Walpole, you can write in. Then the William Congreve's The Way of the World. Then William Wycherley's The Country Wife have plots that turn largely on the success or failure of an interview. So these are the works which are very important, and it is for, you can also write important. So it directly asks from the works. Now question number 71. Match the following with the works with the author's work and the author's Homi Ke Baba. It is the location of culture. Geoffrey Hartman, Saving the Text. Edward Said, again culture and imperialism, and again he is very important. He has been asked multiple times. Then Julia Kristeva, Desire in Language. So that gives 2, 1, C4, D3. And again these type of are very easy type जिसमें आपको 1, 2, 3, 4 ऑप्शन मिलता है. I was just knowing Homi Ke Baba as the location of culture, and I was also knowing Edward Said. So I was knowing these two, Homi Ke Baba and Edward Said. So these two were given. So this is very important one, A2, B1, C4 and D3. Here sirens are started. And your states are also. Please do comment. Sirens are going on. I don't know, lights will also cut. How many syllables are there in the word intrasignally? 3, 6, 5 or 4? It is 5. Again, it is 15 type of question, no sir pair of it. Now question number 73. In which of the following works in the character Ariel and exclusion? So it is from the rhyme of the ancient mariner, and Ariel is also in these all works, but so you have to be very confirm of which he is talking about. But it is not the exclusion. So here it has written an exclusion, so that's why the rhyme of the ancient mariner by I am from Jharkhand and from Ranchi. So yeah, it was I don't know, some police wala were there or what. I heard a loud siren. Yes. So it was from ST College. So in which of the following Middle English poems Hector a character? Again, this is Troilus and Cressida, Piers Plowman, the Seafarer, Beowulf. No character, only one character was there. Only one character was there. So again, it was from the Troilus and Cressida. Hector was a character. So again, characterization is very important one. So that's why you need to understand that. Wuthering Heights coming in. Wuthering Heights is again very important work by Emily Bronte's only work which was published in 1847. So yes, what is correctly here written correctly describes. So whenever you are focusing on this correctly describes and correctly describes, these are the major terms. So the very first one is flashbacks and time shift. So yeah, we see a lot of Nelly is there and a lot of characters where we see a lot of back flashes were there कि ऐसे होता है हमारे टाइम में ये था, then at that time these were the lovers and that's why that family tensions was there. No Oedipal obsession was there and no magic ritual was there. It was acute evacuation of place because a lot of major references has been given. So yeah, it's A and D. Question number 76. Who among the following are associated with the Jazz Age? What does that Jazz Age means? Jazz Age means was a culture with movement, roaring 20s, a lot of energy in that. So yes, it was Ernest Hemingway and Scott Fitzgerald. These are the two associated with Jazz, and a lot of questions came in 2019 and 20 on this. Who among the following prose writers of the Romantic period authored on murder considered as one of the fine arts? So it is written by none other than Thomas De Quincey. Very important. He has been written a lot of critics and comments. A lot of comments has been come from this one. Assertion and reason. Two statements, assertion and reason. Dialects again in June 2019 again dialects and pidgin question were there in the assertion reason. Dialects are the broad range of social as well as regional varieties. Okay, let's see a dialect describes variations not only at the phonological level but also at the levels of lexis and syntax. So that you are from which state? So both are correct, but this is not the correct explanation of A. Why? Because it is talking about a simple term. It is talking about that what dialects is. It is talking about is a broad range and about the regional varieties. But it does not say that why it has been said about the regional. It does not talks about anything about the regional level. So yeah, both A and R is true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Question number 79. Which of the following movements was Arthur Symons was referring to as an interesting disease and over subtilizing refinement upon refinement? Again, it was like a state of decay to show of the disease, and that's why it is a movement called decadence, and everything was mostly happened in London. So yeah, not much importance of it. Question number 80. Which of the following work by Henry Fielding begins as parody of Samuel Richardson Pamela? So again, this is very important, and it is from Joseph Andrews, not of Tom Jones, not of Don Quixote, not of Emilia. Again, this work Pamela is very important. Do read it, the subtitles, where he has taken the reference from. It is very important one. Okay. Question number 81. Cultural studies is simply the study of culture as a discrete. No, it does not talk about discrete and does not talk about the divorced. Okay. Cultural studies aim to understand culture in all its complex forms. Yes. For what? To analyze a social, political context within which it manifests itself. So it's very important one. So A is false, but R is true. So that's it. Let's move to question number 82. Which two of the following are autobiographical narratives? So Kantapura, can you see the Kantapura and the God of Small Things? So when you see options also, these are important one which you can understand कि इसका publication date आप याद कर लो, इसका आप writer याद कर लो, इसका आप novelist याद कर लो, इसका consecutive क्या होता है, 1947 से पहले हुआ है, बाद में हुआ है, Indian है, बाहर का है. So again, what are the autobiographical narratives? कौन सा खुद से autobiographical narrative set किया गया? So it is a Meatless Days and Prison and Chocolate Cake. Okay. Question number 83. Which of the following combinations best describe typical methodology of literary research? So it was best one, and these combinations, how and when will you know about the best combination? When you are into writing the research writing. Until unless you are not writing the research, you won't be able to understand the methodology just by reading the descriptions. Okay, so it is textual, critical and historical. So for that you need to go into the depth of it. Rest you just understand. When you are talking about the best combinations of literary research should include textual, critical, it should have critical thing, and historical references, so that it makes easy one. Question number 84. Which one of the following is a proper explanation of the concept of Freytag's pyramid? Now how many of you know this one in real? Just a second. How many of you know Freytag's concept? Tell me how many of you know. Nobody knows. So that these are again 15 types of question. In that, until unless it has not been asked in examination, nobody knows it. So it is analysis of the plot of a drama. Okay. You have to remember it. No tips, no tricks for that. You know, I wanted to say something. I have seen a lot of videos, right? And I don't feel why everybody wants to make you circumfigated that आप उसी चीज़ पे घूमते रहो. क्यों नहीं लोग पॉइंट पे बात करते हैं? एग्ज़ाम ही है ना, आपको पता है कैटेगरी वाइज है, रिजर्व्ड कैटेगरी है, you know, आप उसमें नहीं बोल सकते हो. You know there are reservation. आपको पता है जनरल कैटेगरी, अगर आप इफ़ यू बिलोंग फ्रॉम अ जनरल कैटेगरी आपको बहुत मेहनत करना है. If you belong from ST, SC and ST, even if you score 150 or 160 plus, there are high chances that you can get PhD or even UGC NET. So for that you should believe कि आपको वो analyze करना पड़ेगा. If you are from a general category, good evening Neeraj. If you belong from a general category, you need to work hard. Please accept that. Blaming game आप छोड़ दो कि अरे वो इस कैटेगरी से इसलिए उसका नहीं. वो है दैट इज़ इट. यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दैट फैक्ट. हाँ, आपके हाथ में क्या है, आप मेहनत कर सकते हो. एंड हाउ कैन यू डू दैट मेहनत? बाय सॉल्विंग PYQ. एंड और PYQ में से आपको जो इम्पोर्टेंट बताया जा रहा है आप वो पढ़िए. पेड कोर्सेज ले लो आप, फ्री क्लासेस ले लो, लाइव क्लासेस ले लो, लेकिन एट द एंड आपको खुद से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. जस्ट बाय सॉल्विंग, अभी ऐसे सिर्फ सॉल्व करने से नहीं होता है. सॉल्व कीजिए, आप लिखिए क्या याद हो रहा है, क्या याद नहीं हो रहा है. सब एग्ज़ाम निकाल रहे हैं ना, आपका भी एग्ज़ाम निकलेगा, क्यों नहीं निकलेगा? वाई नॉट? लोग आईएएस का एग्ज़ाम निकाल ले रहे हैं, ये तो फिर भी यूजीसी नेट एग्जामिनेशन है. सो प्लीज़ स्टॉप थिंकिंग लो. बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप हमेशा हाई मोड पे रहते हो, नहीं, बहुत टाइम ऐसा होगा जब आपको लगेगा कि कोई नहीं है एंड पता नहीं ये हम कर रही है, बहुत फ्यूटाइल लगता है, बहुत एब्सर्ड लगता है, कोई मीनिंग नहीं लगता है. बट आप किसी के लिए मत करो, अपने लिए करो. आज से 10 साल के बाद अगर आप अपने आप को देखोगे एज एन असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर ना किसी कॉलेज में पढ़ाते हुए, you will feel proud for your all the मेहनत you are doing it now. So please don't give up. आप किसी भी स्टेज में हो, आई नो सबका बहुत अच्छा स्टेज नहीं होता, कोई मेंटल प्रेशर से गुजर रहा होता है, किसी के एग्ज़ाम्स होते हैं कॉलेज का, किसी के फैमिली बैकग्राउंड अच्छा नहीं होता, किसी के फैमिली टेंशन्स होते हैं. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट मॉनिटरली, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द इन्वायरमेंट मैटर्स अ लॉट. अभी घर में लड़ाई झगड़ा हो रहा है एंड यू वोंट बी एबल, अगर आपको पढ़ना भी चाहोगे तो आपके दिमाग में वो सारी चीज़ें ही दौड़ेंगी. सो आपको उन सारी चीज़ों से बाहर निकलना है. दीज आर टेम्पररीली, दीज आर मोमेंटरली. द मोमेंट यू विल हैव दैट सर्टिफिकेट इन योर हैंड एंड व्हेन यू आर डिलीवरिंग अ लेक्चर इन योर कॉलेज, that will be a different era. So that's it. So a lot of gyan, not a gyan but yeah, personal experiences also. So yes, please don't give up, that what I said, and please study. That's it. You're given two statements are there. Assertion is the primary component of a novelistic form is a plot. ठीक है, plot होता है that evolves coherently from its beginning to an end in which all complications are resolved. क्या ऐसा होता है? Let's see. The novel is constituted by multiplicity of divergent, contending social voices achieve their full significance only, can you see only here, in the process of their dialogic interaction both with each other and with voices in the narrative. So this is the case, we'll see the right answer. Yes, it's both correct, but R is not the correct explanation of it. Why? Because it has just said it's talking about the primary component, but it's just talking about the novel. So yeah, both is correct in their own factor, but not in individuality. Question number, again, those who are solving 2012 to 2025 series, PYQ series, those who are solving PYQ series, they must be knowing who Michel Foucault is, what are his views on knowledge, how he was talking about. So yes, knowledge is not a metaphysical और transcendental. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि वो एक दूसरे से convert हो जाता है या फिर ऐसा अचानक से change होता है, नहीं. Knowledge is not pure or neutral, but it is always from a point of view, and it is very well said by Michel Foucault, and I totally agree with him कि knowledge ऐसा नहीं है कि वो बहुत pure होता है या फिर बहुत neutral होता है, but it is always a from a point of view. मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू कुछ अलग हो सकता है, आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू कुछ अलग हो सकता है, बट इट इज़ नहीं कि मेरा नॉलेज कम है या फिर आपका नॉलेज कम है, नहीं. इट माइट बी आप PhD हो और हम सिर्फ क्लास 12 पास हो, बट माई नॉलेज ऑन समथिंग इज़ माई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, कैन नॉट जज माई नॉलेज जस्ट फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. सो दैट इज़ वेरी ट्रू ऑफ मिचेल फुको. सो इट इज़ A and C. क्वेश्चन नंबर 8. नाउ nobody knew कि ये क्वेश्चन आएगा, बट इट केम कि जैसे एडवांसमेंट बढ़ रहा है इम्पैक्ट ऑफ लर्निंग में, सो व्हाट आर द टूल्स फॉर इट. सो हाइपर टेक्स्ट लैंग्वेज किस में आया है? इट इज़ 1991. स्ट्रीमिंग ऑफ वीडियो ऑन द इंटरनेट 1997, ग्रेट. myspace.com 2003 and Facebook came in 2004. So yes, even if you know 2004 one, you would have done D1, A2, B4 and A3. So that makes A is the right answer. Question number 89. Who said the following? Discursive practices, again discursive is a spoken and written form of, are not purely and simply modes of manufacture of discourse. Okay, they take shape in technical resemblance, institution, behavioral schemes, type of transmission, dissemination, pedagogical form, both impose and maintain them. ये कौन बोला है डिस्कर्सिव का? अगर आप कहीं भी डिस्कर्सिव आप देखिए, आंख बंद करके मिकैल फुको में लगाइए, बिकॉज ही इज़ द ओनली वन हु टॉक्स अबाउट अ डिटेल इन अबाउट डिस्कर्सिव. डिस्कोर्स क्या होता है? डिस्कोर्स इज़ अबाउट स्पोकन होता है या रिटन होता है. स्पीकिंग में हम बहुत सारा चीज़ रिपीट कर देते हैं, बट वाइल राइटिंग वी डोंट रिपीट थिंग्स, और इसीलिए सारा चीज़ है. तो दिस इज़ फ्रॉम मिकैल फुको. Question number 90. Which of the following titles of Robert Browning's work means to disport in the open air, to amuse oneself at random? It is from Orlando, again very important work. Do read it. And Robert Browning, again it is important. Please do read all his work. Do not miss reading his works because it's very important. Now this is Home is Sad. Why it is sad? Let's discuss. It is a paragraph. How to solve paragraph? Just read the question first. Why is home sad? How was the home before it became sad? कैसा था पहले? There is a thief in the poem. Who is a thief? Let's read. Home is so sad. It stays as it was left, shaped to the comfort of the last to go, as it to win them back. Instead, bereft anyone to please, it withered so, having no heart to put aside the theft. So why he is saying कि बहुत ज़्यादा होम बहुत सैड है? क्यों? ये पहले भी ऐसे ही था, बट लेकिन क्या हो गया कि किसी को प्लीज़ नहीं करता है, कोई हार्ट नहीं है, थेफ्ट अभी जब चोरी हो गया तो हाउ इज इट सेइंग एंड टर्न अगेन टू व्हाट इट स्टार्टेड एज, और जॉयस शाउट हाउ थिंग्स ऑट टू बी, कैसे होता था. लॉन्ग फॉल एंड वाइड, यू कैन सी हाउ इट वॉज. Look at the pictures, कैसे था पहले ये, the cutlery, the music in the piano stool, that was. So it is talking about a home which has been चोरी हो चुका है, and now they are comparing कि पहले कैसा था और अभी कैसा है. तो क्यों ये क्यों है sad? Because it has waited in vain, that is why. पहले कैसा था? जैसे इसको रहना चाहिए था, that is why it is written it was as it shall be. You can get this one direct, it stays, it has to be. Okay. There is a thief in the poem. Who is a thief? The tenant who leaves. Tenant, the one who is renting the home and living there. Okay. Why the home was withered? क्यों? Because it has no longer the reason to be what it was. पहले जो reason था अब वो reason नहीं है. Now we move to this another passage. इट इज़ टॉकिंग अबाउट लाइंग क्यों फॉल्ट होना चाहिए, क्या पनिशमेंट होना चाहिए. इट इज़ सजेस्टेड इन द पैसेज दैट द टेलर डज नॉट स्पीक द ट्रूथ बिकॉज, क्यों नहीं बोला, एंड लाइंग का क्या इफेक्ट है ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप में. थॉटफुल एक्शन, थॉटलेस एक्शंस कैसे होता है. लेट्स रीड. लाइंग इज़ एन एक्यूर्स्ड वाइज. क्या है? एक एक्यूर्स्ड वाइज है. इट इज़ ओनली अवर वर्ड्स which binds us together and make us human. कितना अच्छा बात लिखा हुआ है. ये एक बात ही होता है कि ये वर्ड्स ही होता है जिससे why we are connected. The one who are watching my video on live, why we are connected? Because I am saying something which you are liking it. I am saying the words which making you, which binding us together, and that words make us human. And in the world also, if we realize the horror and weight of lying, we would see that more worthy of the stake than the other crimes. अगर आप देखें इसका हॉरर, इसका खौफ देखेंगे झूठ बोलने का, तो जो क्राइम्स होता है ना उससे ज़्यादा इसका ये हो जाएगा. I find that people normally waste time quite inappropriately punishing children for innocence, misdemeanors, fermenting them for thoughtless actions which lead nowhere and leave no trace. तो ये बोल रहे हैं कि हमको तो समझ नहीं आता कि why people punish their children for no trace. It seems to me that only faults which we should vigorously attack as soon they arise and to start is develop our lying and little below that stubbornness. तो बोलते हैं कि हमको नहीं समझ में आता कि लोग बच्चों को क्यों मारते हैं बस एक्शन से. हमको लगता है कि बच्चों को इस चीज़ के लिए अटैक करना चाहिए जैसे वो झूठ बोलना शुरू कर देते हैं. द मोमेंट चाइल्ड आर स्पीकिंग लाई, उस टाइम पे आपको थोड़ा स्ट्रिक्ट होना है, और उससे थोड़ा सा जो स्टबन, जो ढीठ हो जाते हैं, उनको नहीं करना है. Those faults grow up with the children. Once let the tongue acquire the habit of lying. अगर एक बार आपको झूठ बोलने का आदत लग गया, and it is astonishing how impossible it is to make it give it up. And that is true. The moment you start liking the lying fact, बहुत मुश्किल होता है ये give up करना. That is why some otherwise decent men आर ऑब्जेक्ट स्लेव इन टू इट. इसका मतलब होता है कि, और यही एक रीज़न है कि कुछ लोगों का फितरत हो जाता है सिर्फ झूठ बोलना, इतना झूठ बोलना, हर बात पे झूठ बोलना, बटरिंग करना, झूठ बोलते रहना. वन ऑफ माई टेलर्स इज़ गुड एनफ फेलो. ही इज़ गुड, बहुत अच्छा टेलर है, बट आई हैव नेवर हर्ड हिम वन स्पीक द ट्रूथ. हम कभी उसको नहीं देखे कि वो कभी सच बोला है. नॉट इवन इट वुड हेल्प हिम इफ़ ही डिड सो. और उस वक्त भी नहीं जब उसको वो झूठ नहीं बोलता तो उसको हेल्प करता, बट स्टिल ही लाइज. सो लाइंग इज़ अ फॉल्ट दैट शुड बी पनिश्ड ओनली व्हेन इट बिगिंस टू टर्न अ हैबिट. ठीक है, जब वो हैबिट में टर्न हो रहा है तभी वो पनिशेबल होना चाहिए. इट इज़ सजेस्टेड इन द पैसेज दैट द टेलर डज नेवर स्पीक द ट्रूथ बिकॉज he cannot keep his word he gives. He does not know lying is a crime. He thinks lying will keep him. He is a slave of his profession. क्या होगा इसका आंसर? Let me check once because I think yeah, he cannot keep the word he gives. Why? Because tailors बोलते हैं ना कि नहीं आज नहीं होगा मैडम, कल ले जाइएगा, कल नहीं होगा परसों ले जाइएगा, नहीं आप इस दिन आप श्योर आइएगा, बट दैट डज नॉट हैपन्स. हाउ डज लाइंग इफेक्ट ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप? एंड आई थिंक जितने लोग भी देख रहे हैं उनके लाइफ में कभी ना कभी ऐसा एक टाइम आया होगा जब झूठ बोलने की वजह से आपके रिलेशन में इफ़ेक्ट हुआ होगा. सो येस, इट रिड्यूसेस द एफिनिटी अमंग पीपल. सो येस, नेवर लाई. सच बोलिए, थोड़ा झगड़ा होगा, थोड़ा लड़ाई होगा, बट एट दी एंड दैट पर्सन विल थिंक कि हाँ अगर ही और शी कुड हैव उसको छुपा सकता था, बट ही डिड नॉट लाई इट. ठीक है, सच बोला कीजिए, मन हल्का रहता है, आपको चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा याद नहीं रखनी पड़ती है. whenever what you are saying, you just say it. You don't have to keep so many things at your mind, and your mind is also at relaxed position. According to the author, thoughtless actions are mean nothing and soon forgotten. So thoughtless action कभी mean नहीं होता और वो जल्दी भूला ही जाता है. Again, it is from, I guess we know everyone. You will tell me in the comment section ये किसका line है. It was the best of the times and it was the worst of the times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. Epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was a season of light. It was a season of darkness. It was a spring of hope. It was a winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct to all other way, in short. The period was so far in the present period, some of the noisiest authorities insisted on its being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only. So what does it mean? So the age describes above the best as the contraries. Why? Because it is talking about, see, best, worst, comparison, wisdom, foolishness, incredulity, darkness, despair. So it is all about the comparison, the contrary. So that's why it is best described as the contraries. Oh great, can you see, for one question they gave this long passage just to make your time again for one question. Creon, and yet word bold enough to break the law. Antigon, it is from Greek one. Yeah, for these laws were not ordained by Jesus, and who sits enthroned with the gods below, justice intact, not these human laws. Nor did I deem that thou, a mortal man, couldn't stay, breathe, annual and override the immutable unwritten laws of heaven. So these the three kinds of laws impact antigens responses are of gods, justice, of man. What it is talking about? It is talking about what they are talking about, the laws. They are asking about कि ऐसा कौन सा जो law है जो हम ordain करते हैं. Responses ये है of gods के, of justice and of man. So yes, that's a wrap for today's PYQ in 2019 December. And this was part 2. We are solving PYQ series from 2012 to 2025, and this is a series in which we discussed live from 60 to 100. I hope you enjoyed this live discussion, and if you found this video helpful, even if you're watching at a replay, do not forget to like, share, forget, and whatever you have any question, drop them down in the comment section. I'll try to answer them all. And yes, every time you solve a question, do remember you are getting one step closer to clearing UGC NET June 2025. All the best and stay tuned. We'll be covering 2025 series, and if you haven't watched that, please go and watch. I have made a separate playlist for that. Complete solve PYQs from 2012 to 2025. Keep learning, keep shining, love literature, and that's all. Take care. Bye bye.